The royal family has revealed shocking secrets about Princess Diana, shaking the monarchy to its core. Behind the fairy tale image, Diana's life was filled with heartbreak and betrayal, including a desperate act during her pregnancy that left the palace reeling. Despite her struggles, she became a beacon of hope and compassion, earning the love of millions. Let us uncover the truths that haunted Diana and the revelations that have stunned the world today. Hidden Truths of Princess Diana. The British royal family has once again captured the world's attention, leaving everyone stunned with unexpected news. It's the kind of jaw-dropping revelation that has people glued to their screens, wondering what could possibly come next. As whispers swirl through the halls of the palace, more hidden tales about the royal life have begun bubbling to the surface, and the buzz is louder than ever. This latest twist has sparked new interest in the most talked-about member of the family, Princess Diana, and her deeply tragic story that still lingers in the public's mind. Even after decades, Diana's life remains a puzzle. Her fairy tale rise to royal fame, her struggles with love, and the heart-wrenching way her journey ended continue to be sources of fascination. Now, with the world's eyes turned toward the palace once again, it feels like a good time to revisit some of the secrets that shaped her story and how they're still shaking the monarchy today. But now, a new revelation has surfaced, one that could change everything we thought we knew about Princess Diana. Diana Spencer's life started simply enough. Born on July 1, 1961, she grew up in a well-off family, but her shy and kind personality always made her stand out. The world got its first glimpse of her as a teenager when she crossed paths with Prince Charles, who was over a decade older than her. At the time, Charles had just ended a brief relationship with Diana's older sister, Lady Sarah Spencer. That breakup, oddly enough, opened the door for Diana and Charles to start a romance that would captivate millions. Diana was only 19 when she and Charles began dating. From the outside, it looked like a dream come true. A young woman falling in love with a prince? What could go wrong? But as their relationship blossomed, cracks were already starting to show. Even though Charles was with Diana, whispers about his ongoing feelings for his ex, Camilla Parker Bowles, were impossible to ignore. Diana herself admitted later that she often felt like she was competing for his attention even before they walked down the aisle. Their grand wedding on July 29, 1981 was nothing short of spectacular. With over 700 million people watching around the world, it was the event of the century. Diana's ivory silk gown with a 25-foot train dazzled, and St. Paul's Cathedral was filled with royals, world leaders, and celebrities. But behind the glamour and glitter, Diana's doubts about her marriage were growing stronger. The fairy tale didn't last long. Diana's unease about Charles's lingering feelings for Camilla became more than just a suspicion. Over time, their marriage started to unravel in plain view. Diana's struggles weren't just about her husband's emotional distance. The intense pressure of being part of the royal family added another layer of stress to her life. She often felt isolated and neglected, leading to moments of deep sadness and frustration. One particularly shocking moment came when Diana, pregnant with her first child, Prince William, found herself in a moment of desperation. Feeling completely unheard and alone, she threw herself down a staircase in a cry for attention. Thankfully, the baby wasn't harmed, but the incident painted a troubling picture of her emotional state. Despite these struggles, Diana remained dedicated to her public duties, earning admiration for her grace and compassion. When Charles's affair with Camilla became impossible to hide, Diana famously remarked in an interview, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." This raw honesty endeared her even more to the public, but highlighted just how broken things had become behind the palace walls. By 1992, Diana and Charles separated, and their divorce was finalized 4 years later. After the divorce, Diana threw herself into her humanitarian work, championing causes that weren't just meaningful but often overlooked. Her willingness to connect with people, especially those who were marginalized, made her a global icon. In 1987, she made headlines for shaking hands with an AIDS patient without wearing gloves, a simple gesture that challenged widespread stigma and fear. Her impact didn't stop there, as she became a vocal advocate against landmines, even walking through a live minefield in Angola to raise awareness. These moments solidified her reputation as the People's Princess, a title reflecting her deep connection to ordinary people. On August 31, 1997, the world was shaken by the news of her death. She and her partner, Dodi Fayed, were in Paris trying to escape the relentless paparazzi. Their car, driven by a man under the influence and chased by photographers, crashed in a tunnel. The tragic accident claimed the lives of Diana, Dodi, and their driver. The aftermath was filled with grief, anger, and questions. Millions mourned the loss of a princess who had touched so many lives. At the same time, people began pointing fingers at the paparazzi, blaming their aggressive pursuit for the tragedy. Investigations revealed that the driver's high alcohol level and the lack of seatbelts played major roles in the crash, but that didn't stop conspiracy theories from emerging, some even suggesting foul play. Before looking at today, let's revisit the story of Diana, a woman who changed everything for the royal family. Beyond the aisle and the crown, the wedding day itself was a spectacle like no other. St. Paul's Cathedral was filled with dignitaries and celebrities, all eager to witness the union of the future king and his young bride. Her dress, with its intricate lace and dramatic train, symbolized the grandeur of the occasion. Yet even as she walked down the aisle, doubts lingered in her mind. The fairy tale narrative didn't align with the reality she was facing. Life as a princess was far from the dream she had envisioned. The demands of royal duties were relentless, and the lack of privacy was suffocating. Every move she made was documented, her every word analyzed. She struggled to adapt to the rigid expectations of her new role. Meanwhile, her relationship with Charles continued to deteriorate. The emotional distance between them became more apparent with each passing year. Despite her personal challenges, her compassion shone through in her charitable work. She visited hospitals, embraced children with AIDS, and walked through minefields to raise awareness about the dangers of landmines. Her genuine care for others made her a global icon. People saw her as a beacon of hope, someone who used her platform to make a difference. However, the strain of her personal life took a toll. She battled with bulimia, a condition she later spoke about openly. It was a manifestation of the immense pressure she felt to meet impossible standards. Her vulnerability made her relatable, but it also highlighted the harsh realities of life within the royal family. The separation from Charles was a turning point. She began to reclaim her identity, stepping out of the shadow of the monarchy. She traveled the world, championing causes that were close to her heart. Her style evolved, reflecting her newfound confidence. Yet the media's obsession with her never waned. The paparazzi's relentless pursuit often left her feeling trapped. In her final years, her relationship with Dodi Al-Fayed brought her some happiness. The couple's summer romance was widely publicized, and they were often photographed together. But this newfound joy was short-lived. The car crash in Paris ended not only her life, but also a chapter of hope and possibility. The aftermath of her death was marked by an outpouring of grief. People around the world mourned the loss of the people's princess. Her funeral was a somber yet powerful event, with Elton John's rendition of Candle in the Wind leaving a lasting impression. The sight of her sons, William and Harry, walking behind her coffin remains one of the most poignant images of that time. In the years since her passing, her legacy has continued to grow. Her influence is evident in the way the royal family approaches modern issues. Her sons, now adults with families of their own, often speak of her impact on their lives. They carry forward her commitment to service and her belief in the power of kindness. As the royal family's recent announcement brings her story back into the spotlight, it's clear that Diana's influence is enduring. She was a woman who defied expectations, dared to be vulnerable, and left an indelible mark on the world. Her story is a reminder that even in the face of adversity, it's possible to create a legacy of love and compassion. The details of this latest revelation are still unfolding, but one thing is certain. Her story is far from over. It continues to inspire, to challenge, and to captivate. As the world waits for more information, one can't help but reflect on the enduring power of her life and the lessons it holds for us all. Breaking news about the royal family has a way of grabbing attention. It's dramatic, emotional, and hard to look away from. But let's make sense of it all in a way that's easy to follow and tells a bigger story. First off, a quick rewind. Imagine being part of a world where cameras follow your every move. That's the life she lived. She was celebrated for her charity work, giving comfort to people in need and standing for causes close to her heart. But at home, her life wasn't so picture perfect. In 1992, she and Charles decided they couldn't make it work anymore and separated. By 1996, the divorce was finalized. The public saw the glittering princess, but behind the scenes there was heartache and a lot of effort to repair what was broken. She wanted her marriage to work, but Charles's deep bond with Camilla made reconciliation impossible. When the divorce papers were signed, she had to accept the truth. She couldn't win Charles's love. It was tough, leaving emotional scars. But out of that pain came resilience. She shifted her energy toward her sons, William and Harry, and her humanitarian work. These roles gave her a new sense of purpose. The world adored her as the people's princess for a reason. She made everyone feel seen, and her kindness was magnetic. However, living in the spotlight had its dangers. That fateful night in Paris in 1997 changed everything. She and Dodi were at the Ritz Hotel, a place owned by Dodi's father. They wanted to leave unnoticed, avoiding the flashing cameras that had become part of their daily lives. Sneaking out the back to avoid the paparazzi, they headed toward Dodi's apartment. With Henri Paul behind the wheel and Trevor Rees-Jones, Dodi's bodyguard, in the car, the plan was to outpace the relentless photographers. But things spiraled quickly. The black Mercedes sped into the Alma Tunnel, trying to lose the pursuers. But tragedy struck when the car crashed into a pillar at high speed. Dodi and Henri Paul died instantly. She was rushed to a hospital, but despite the best efforts of the medical team, she passed away a few hours later. Trevor survived but was severely injured. The aftermath left the world in shock. People mourned not just a princess, but someone who felt relatable despite her royal title. Her passing raised questions about how celebrities are treated and the ethics of journalism. The paparazzi, often blamed for the relentless chase, became a symbol of the dangers of media obsession. In the middle of her struggles, one person stood by her side, but even loyalty can bring complications. Secrets of Diana's closest confidant. Among those hit hardest by her death was Paul Burrell, her butler and confidant. Their relationship went beyond professional boundaries. It was deeply personal. Paul came from humble beginnings, dreaming as a boy of serving the royal family. He started as a footman for Queen Elizabeth before becoming her butler. Over time, their bond grew stronger, with Paul becoming her trusted ally. When the news of her death reached him, Paul was devastated. The loss was more than just professional, it was like losing a close friend. Over the years, he became a key figure in keeping her memory alive, even writing books about their time together. But sharing these intimate stories brought its own challenges. While some appreciated the insights, others, including the royal family, criticized him for revealing too much. Then came the legal drama. In 2002, Paul was accused of stealing items belonging to her estate. Police found many of her belongings in his home, leading to allegations of theft. Paul insisted he was keeping them safe at her request, a claim that became central to the trial. The case took an unexpected turn when Queen Elizabeth revealed she was aware of Paul's actions, effectively clearing him of wrongdoing. Even though Paul avoided legal punishment, the ordeal left a mark on his reputation. People questioned his intentions, and his name became tied to one of the royal family's most controversial chapters. Still, Paul stood by his claim that his actions were rooted in loyalty to her. Diana's death and the events that followed brought to light many issues, from the invasive nature of the paparazzi to the complexities of life within the royal family. Her legacy remains a blend of beauty, kindness, and the undeniable impact of her humanitarian efforts. While her life ended too soon, the stories, debates, and reflections she inspired continue to shape how the world remembers her. The story of Diana's life and death didn't just stop at the events in the tunnel. It opened a floodgate of questions about accountability, the role of media, and how much of a private life public figures are entitled to. The paparazzi's aggressive pursuit on that tragic night highlighted the darker side of celebrity culture. Questions were raised about why Diana, a beloved figure, was being hounded so relentlessly, and if her tragic end could have been avoided with stricter regulations around the media's behavior. Her humanitarian work deserves more than just passing mentions. Diana was not just a royal, she was a trailblazer in using her status to shed light on issues that were often ignored. She held hands with AIDS patients at a time when fear and misinformation about the disease were rampant. This simple act sent a powerful message of compassion and broke down barriers of stigma. She championed landmine removal, personally walking through dangerous fields to raise awareness about the lingering dangers these weapons posed. Her commitment to these causes was deeply personal and not just a matter of royal duty. Diana's role as a mother was equally significant. Despite the royal protocols, she was hands-on with William and Harry. She wanted them to experience life beyond the palace walls, taking them to amusement parks and fast food restaurants, allowing them to see a world outside royal privilege. This approach to parenting was a break from tradition and endeared her even more to the public. Her sons have often spoken about how much they admire her strength and how her values continue to guide their lives. The aftermath of her death brought an outpouring of grief from all over the world. Flowers, notes, and tributes flooded the gates of Buckingham Palace. Millions tuned in to watch her funeral, a moment that united people in shared sorrow. Elton John's performance of Candle in the Wind, rewritten in her honor, became an anthem for the collective mourning. The sheer scale of the public's reaction was a testament to how deeply Diana had touched hearts globally. The years that followed her passing saw a shift in how the royal family was perceived. There was an increased call for them to modernize, to be more relatable and accessible. Diana's influence didn't just fade away, it became a catalyst for change within an institution known for its rigidity. Her legacy can be seen in the way younger royals like William and Harry approach their roles today, focusing on mental health, environmental issues, and other causes with a hands-on approach that mirrors their mothers. Paul Burrell's story adds another layer to Diana's legacy. His connection to her was undeniably strong, but his decision to share personal details of her life remains controversial. The legal battles and media attention he faced underscored the complexities of loyalty and privacy in the royal world. While his accounts offer insights into Diana's struggles and triumphs, they also raised questions about where to draw the line between honoring someone's memory and protecting their privacy. Diana's story is one of contrasts. It's about a woman who balanced immense privilege with genuine empathy. She was a royal who broke the mold, a mother who defied tradition, and a humanitarian who used her platform for good. Her life was filled with joy and pain, triumphs and challenges, but through it all, she remained true to herself. Her untimely death was a reminder of the fragility of life and the high cost of fame. It sparked conversations about how public figures are treated and the responsibilities that come with such attention. It also left a lasting impact on the royal family, prompting them to adapt and evolve in ways that continue to be shaped by her legacy. As the world reflects on Diana's life and the lessons it offers, her story remains a source of inspiration. It's a reminder of the power of kindness, the importance of resilience, and the enduring impact of a life lived with purpose. Even decades later, the People's Princess continues to hold a special place in hearts around the globe, her legacy a shining light in the ever-changing world of royalty and beyond. What do you think? Did Diana's tragic fate spark enough change in how we treat public figures, or does society still fail to protect them? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like this text and subscribe for more.